Hi everybody, my name is Sean O'Kane with Chip Estimate TV, your IP resource for your next chip design in the world of the EDA industry. We're here at DVCon 2011 and this is SystemC Day. And we're at the DoubleTree in San Jose, California. My guest today is Stan Krolikoski. He's the chair of the IEEE working group that is updating the SystemC 1666 standard.
That's correct.
And you're also the tutorial chair for DVCon.
Yeah, that's correct.
You're a busy man.
Yes, I am.
And also on the board of both Accelera and OSCE, which is the Open SystemC initiative. You're a busy man. You're all over the place.
Right. You did mention a couple other things I do, but yes.
Tell me, talk a little bit about, just give us an overview of today, of the DVCon and the SystemC Day. Okay.
Rather than answer you directly, what I want to do is go back about 10 years ago and say, okay, where we found ourselves, 1999, 2000, we had C, C++, Spec C, we had, I don't know, you name it, we had a Handle C, all kinds of Cs. C's coming out of whatever. And SystemC came together first as a Synopsys co-ware technology. You know, it was something that was developed, and it became, OSCE existed, but it was more like a users group. Then it became open up, and I give Synopsys credits for that. They opened it up to the industry, and then we fast forward today, and we have what is really a wonderful event, an entire day devoted towards SystemC, where we have, in the morning, we had the North American SystemC Users Group. Unbelievable that you would have it. There was rumor that people in North America didn't want to use high-level methodologies, and here we have their own SystemC Users Group come together dedicated for a morning. Then there's a SystemC tutorial in the afternoon talking about the virtual platforms, use of SystemC. Wonderful, the next frontier in design, the whole notion of what we might want to talk about a system realization or SOC realization, using a language like SystemC as the glue that pulls everything together.
Right.
And that's where we're really working with our transaction level modeling methodology that OSCE developed. So this is really the culmination, or at least it's the next step towards in the evolution of what started as just yet another one in C methodology, and has gone on to become the dominant methodology in this area. I might want to also add one of the other things we have. One of the other hats I wear is working with Accelera on the UVM, the Universal Verification Methodology, which is a system Verilog based methodology for doing verification, as the name would imply. And we had a luncheon. It was a joint lunch between the UVM group and the SystemC group. One of the ideas that, must have been 5 or 6 people that came up to the microphone and said, what we really need to do is to extend UVM to handle SystemC, to allow people to do mixed system Verilog SystemC flows more naturally. They want to use TLM 2.0 from OSCE is already part of UVM, right. But how do you make this even more inclusive? Thank you, good word. How do you take UVM and make it into a methodology that is somehow abstracted from the actual language? And SystemC being a very, very popular language around the world, how do you extend UVM to handle that? So that's where we are right now at this conference. This is just such a great conference. We have, more tutorials than we've had before. We've actually had to, in a time of economic downturn, we actually extended this conference. While most conferences are downsizing, we are extending because we're finding that the verification and the design communities are coming alive. They're back and better than ever. So.
You preach, Stan.
That's a long answer to a short question.
No, it's a great history lesson that you just provided our viewers being chip designers,
yes,
who are in the early stages of their next chip design.
Right.
And that's why, in fact, ChipEstimate.com, we just launched a VIP verification IP microsite within ChipEstimate.com. Featuring a number of IP providers featuring their VIP technology.
Right.
Great stuff.
Right.
So what are some of the leading technologies that are being presented today? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, clearly one of the technologies that we're seeing in the SystemC side, on the OSCE side of the hallway, that we have different ballrooms where tutorials are going on. One of the major technologies is this whole transaction level modeling technology, which really allows I think getting away from just bit wiggling, if you will. So instead of trying to represent something going over the bus as a whole bunch of zeros and ones that are just, making pins high and low, basically there'll be something like an acknowledge or a set or a request. That's massive. That's really not just taking in language constructs to get us to a higher level. That's really giving us a methodology of a way to get to the higher level of abstraction. You can have all the languages in the world that get you up above RTL, but if there's not a practical way of using those languages in something like transactions, then they're no good. On the other side, we have the UVM, which from the Accelera side, which I mentioned actually incorporates TLM, the 2.0 version of TLM from OSCE. But this is also a methodology for, people have System Verilog. Right now it's only System Verilog, someday maybe SystemC, maybe E, maybe who knows, C++. But you would take company X, they would do their VIP or their IP, and they would develop it using one methodology, maybe a VMM from Synopsys. They might, other people, their partners, might use OVM from Cadence and Mentor. And at the end, there were two methodologies, and 2 is better than 20, but users got together and said, guys, 1 is better than 2. So instead of having OVM, instead of having VMM, give us UVM, the Universal Verification Methodology. It came together. There's a full day tutorial going on. And in fact, one thing I noticed is that I'm not sure that DVCon management would like this because of the fact that people are paying for one tutorial or the other, but I see a lot of people going from one side to the other depending on where they find the most interest. So you find people saying, well, I want this session, same person, I want this session on the SystemC side, and I want this session on the UVM side, which is really the System Verilog side right now. So it's not like there's very few people are saying, well, I'm religiously on this side, and don't let me get near those other guys. I'm allergic to them. Those kind of discussions that we used to have in the VHDL Verilog war days, they're not there.
Good.
People know that they're interdependent.
That's good, and I'm glad you mentioned that. And having a united or unified strategy.
Right, absolutely.
Everybody benefits.
Absolutely.
Everybody benefits. So some of the business benefits, I think you maybe touched on that a little bit, but.
Well, the whole idea. In fact, somebody at the luncheon downstairs says, well, what about behavioral synthesis? And that's good technology. That's great technology. The company I work for has a very good product, Cadence, in that area. But that's one tool in the backpack of the designers, right? Because that'll be useful for developing IP. Yeah, and of course, you can develop VIP, as you mentioned. The ChipEstimate has a new portal. Wonderful idea. Verification IP is absolutely required. But one of the key requirements nowadays for design is design, but then assembly of design. We talk about these virtual platforms, where a virtual platform may have 80% of it already developed with stock IP, whereas the extra 20% is what a manufacturer of platforms can put in for their value add. And of course, if they're using, for example, USB 3.0, next version of USB, they'll want some design IP for USB. They'll want to go to the ChipEstimate.com portal and get the VIP for USB 3.0. In fact, they might want to do it for both the design and verification IP. And
absolutely.
But that's the whole notion of virtual platforms, is that it's a design. It's what we used to call a breadboard, multiplied by 4 orders of magnitude. But it's the notion of, yes, you are assembling pieces, and occasionally you're using, not more than occasionally, you're using something like a behavioral synthesis tool to create new IP.
Wonderful. I mean, well, you put it all together. It was very well said, and I appreciate your time.
Okay.
And this is great. Thank you very much, Stan Krolikoski. We'll be back next time with you on Chip Estimate TV.